Chosen one, April 18th through 20 will cost you everything if you ignore what I am about to tell you. And this is your final warning. Do not adjust your screen. Do not let your thumb keep scrolling. Because out of every single person awake right now, out of every single soul browsing through video after video, looking for something they cannot even name, this particular message was routed to you. Not by accident, not by coincidence, not because some algorithm decided to test your attention span. You are here because something deeper than logic pulled you to this exact moment. And if you leave now, if you click away before I finish, you will not find this again. Not this version of it. Not the one that was shaped specifically for where you are standing in your life right now. I know that sounds heavy. It should. Because what is coming between April 18th and April 20th is not light. It is not small, and it is not forgiving to those who are not paying attention. But before I tell you what those 3 days hold, stay with me, because what comes next will completely change how you see what you have been going through. You have been feeling it, have you not? That strange weight sitting on your chest when you wake up. That feeling of being close to something, but never quite reaching it. You have been carrying a tiredness that sleep does not fix, a loneliness that has nothing to do with how many people are around you. And you have been wondering, quietly, in the parts of your mind you do not show anyone, whether all of this is leading somewhere or whether you are just running in circles dressed up as progress. I hear you. And more than that, I see you. Not the version of you that smiles in public. Not the version that says I am fine when someone asks. I see the one who lies awake at 3 in the morning replaying every decision, every missed chance, every moment where life asked you to be strong and you had nothing left but you were strong anyway. That is who I am speaking to right now. Only that version of you. Most chosen ones will never hear this, not because it is hidden, but because they scroll past it too soon. And that is the tragedy of it. The answer sits right in front of them, wrapped inside a video they almost watched, buried in a sentence they almost heard, and they let it go because they did not believe it was for them. But you did not scroll. You are still here, and that tells me more about you than you realize. So let me tell you what this video is going to give you if you stay until the very last word. I am going to walk you through what April 18th activates in your life. I am going to reveal the trap that is waiting for you on April 19th. A trap designed to make you lose everything the day before just handed you. And I am going to show you what locks into place permanently on April 20th if you make it through without breaking. 3 days, 3 shifts, and a version of your life that you have been begging for in silence is going to begin taking shape right in front of your eyes. But I am also going to share something that most people are not ready to hear. Something about you, specifically, about why your life has felt so delayed, about why people who started after you seem to be living the life that was supposed to be yours. There is a reason for that, and when you hear it, you are not going to feel sorry for yourself anymore. You are going to feel dangerous, in the best way. Now I need you to do something for me, right now. Before we go any further, if you can feel in your chest that this message was not random, if something in you is saying stay, do not leave, this is it, then type AMN in the comments below. That is your way of stepping forward. That is your way of telling me and telling yourself that you are done running from what is yours. Type it now. This is not entertainment. This is not background noise for while you eat or fall asleep. This is a direct message to the one person who has been silently asking for a sign that the waiting is almost over. And if that person is you, then you already know it. You feel it in your hands right now. You feel it in the way your breathing just shifted. Good. That means you are ready. Now let me tell you why this video found you today and not yesterday, not last week, not next month. Today, there is a clock attached to your name, and it is not the kind that hangs on a wall. It is the kind that has been counting down since the moment things started falling apart in your life. Every closed door, every betrayal, every night you thought you could not survive was not random destruction. It was a sequence. And that sequence has been building toward a 3-day window that most people will never even know exists. April 18 through 20. That is your window. And it does not care whether you believe in it or not. It is arriving either way. The only question is whether you will be awake for it or asleep at the wheel like you have been for the last few months. I am not here to scare you, but I am here to shake you. Because what I have seen happen to chosen ones who ignore these kinds of windows is not something I want for you. They do not just miss an opportunity. They watch it go to someone else. Someone who was less ready. Someone who did not earn it the way they did. And that is a kind of pain that rewrites your entire story if you let it. So do not let it. Right now, I need you to lock in. Turn off every distraction. Close every other tab. Silence every notification. Because for the next stretch F this message, I am going to speak to you like no one else will. Not because I am the only voice that cares about you, but because I am the only voice right now that knows exactly where you are standing and what is about to happen next. If you feel that chill running through you right now, type 1111 in the comments. That is your confirmation. That is the signal that you are locked in and you are not leaving until this message is done. Let us begin. Now I need you to hear this part carefully, because what I am about to say is the reason you have not been sleeping. It is the reason food does not taste the same. It is the reason you can be surrounded by people and still feel like the loneliest person in the room. Something has been off. You know it. You have known it for weeks now. Maybe longer. There is this heaviness that sits right behind your ribs. Not pain, exactly. More like pressure. Like something inside you is trying to expand, but the walls around your life are too tight. You wake up tired even after a full night of rest. You look at your phone and feel nothing. You start a task and abandon it halfway through. You used to have fire. You used to have direction. And now it feels like someone poured water over everything that once kept you moving. And the worst part is, you cannot explain it to anyone, because on the outside, nothing looks that different. But on the inside, you are barely holding it together. Do not move past this part, because this is where most chosen ones miss what was meant for them. What you are feeling is not weakness. It is not laziness. And it is not some flaw in who you are. That heaviness has a purpose. And the purpose is something that most people will go their entire lives without understanding. You are not falling apart. You are being pulled apart. There is a difference. Falling apart means something is broken. Being pulled apart means something is making room. And right now, whether you see it or not, room is being made inside you for something that could not fit in the old version of your life. The old version was too small. The old mindset was too safe. The old circle was too comfortable. And so everything had to be disturbed. Everything had to feel wrong. Not to destroy you, but to rearrange you. Here is something almost no one talks about. The period right before a chosen one steps into their next chapter is almost always the most painful. Not the middle, not the beginning. The very last stretch before things turn around is designed to feel unbearable. It is designed to make you want to quit. Because the shift that is waiting for you does not come to people who are comfortable. It comes to people who have been stretched so far beyond their limit that they have no choice but to become someone new. And that is exactly where you are standing right now, on the edge of who you used to be and who you are about to become. That space between the two is the most uncomfortable place a human being can exist. And yet here you are, still standing, still watching, still searching for the answer. That is not weakness. That is strength most people will never understand. So when I tell you that the last few weeks were never a punishment, I need you to let that land. They were preparation. Every sleepless night was recalibrating your instincts. Every moment of loneliness was teaching you to trust your own voice. Every door that closed in your face was redirecting you toward a door you did not even know existed yet. And that door is connected to April 18th, directly. If the last few weeks have been the hardest of your life, type chosen below. Do it now. Not because it is a word on a screen, but because it is a declaration. You are naming what you are. And what you are is someone who was selected to carry away tea. Hat most people could not survive. You carried it. And now it is almost time to set it down. And what I am about to share next, almost no one talks about this. But it will change everything about how you see what April 18th is about to unlock for you. Now, here is where things begin to shift, because everything I just told you about the pain, the heaviness, the sleepless nights, all of that was the setup, and April 18th is the payoff. There is a reason that specific date keeps showing up in your life right now. Maybe you have seen it on a clock. Maybe someone mentioned it in passing and your body reacted before your mind could catch up. Maybe you just felt a pull toward this video that you could not explain. That was not random. April 18th is the first door in a 3-day sequence that is directly tied to everything you have been silently asking for. Not everything at once. That is not how it works. But the first crack in the wall, the first sign that what you have been building in the dark is about to step into the light. And I need you to pay very close attention to what I am about to describe. Because if you are not watching for it, you will miss it. And missing it is not something you can afford right now. On or around April 18th, something is going to reach you. It might be a conversation you did not expect, a message from someone who has been silent for months, an opportunity that appears out of nowhere with your name written all over it. It might be a feeling, a sudden clarity that cuts through the fog you have been living in. You will know it when it arrives, because your chest will tighten, not from fear, from recognition. Your body will know before your brain does that the thing you have been waiting for has finally started moving in your direction. Here is the truth no one says out loud. Most chosen ones do not miss their moment because they are not ready. They miss it because they do not recognize it when it arrives. They are looking for something loud, something obvious, a dramatic entrance. But that is not how your breakthrough is going to come. It is going to come quietly, disguised as something small. A door held open for 2 seconds longer than usual. A sentence buried inside a casual conversation. A thought that crosses your mind at exactly the right time. April 18th will not announce itself with fireworks. It will whisper, and only those who have been sharpened by pain will hear it. That is you. You have been sharpened. Every single thing that broke you over the last few weeks filed down the noise inside your mind, so that when this moment arrives, you would be able to hear it clearly. That is what the preparation was for. Not to punish you, to tune you like an instrument that needed to be pulled tight before it could produce the right sound. You are ready now, whether you feel it or not. You are ready. Do not let doubt talk you out of this. I know there is a voice inside you right now that says, "This sounds too good." That voice has been protecting you for years. It kept you safe by keeping you small. But safe and small are not where you are headed anymore. April 18th marks the beginning of a chapter where you stop surviving and start receiving. Not because you earned it through more suffering, but because you already suffered enough. The balance is shifting, and it is shifting in your favor. Type 777 right now if you are ready to receive what is coming. Do not think about it. Do not hesitate. Just type it. Let that number be the line in the sand between who you were before this video and who you are becoming as you watch it. 7, 7, 7. That is completion. That is alignment. That is your confirmation that the wait is ending. But here's what I need you to understand before we go any further. April 18th opens the door, but April 19th is where most chosen ones lose everything they just gained. And what I am about to tell you next is the part of this message that you cannot afford to miss. Not for a second. Now listen to me very carefully, because this next part is not something I share lightly. And if you miss it, everything I just told you about April 18th will not matter. Not one bit. April 19 is a trap, and it is designed specifically for people like you. Not for the average person who drifts through life without paying attention. Not for the ones who stopped watching this video 10 minutes ago. This trap is built for chosen ones. People who are on the edge of a massive shift. People who just had a door opened for them. Because the moment something good begins to move toward you, something else wakes up and tries to stop it. That is not a coincidence. That is a pattern. And if you do not know it is coming, you will walk right into it with your eyes wide open. Here is how it will show up. On or around April 19th, someone from your past is going to reach out. Or a situation you thought you already dealt with is going to resurface. It might come as a text message. It might come as an argument. It might come as a sudden wave of doubt, so heavy that you forget everything you just felt while watching this video. It will feel urgent. It will feel real. It will feel like something you need to respond to right now in the heat of the moment without thinking. And that is exactly how the trap works. It does not come looking like destruction. It comes looking like something that needs your attention. something that feels important. But it is not important. It is a distraction wearing the mask of urgency. Do not move past this part, because this is where most chosen ones lose what was meant for them. Here is something most people do not understand about timing. When a new chapter is about to begin, I end your life. The old chapter does not just quietly close, it fights. It sends echoes. Old people, old feelings, old versions of yourself that you thought you already buried. They all show up at the exact same time, not because you are going backward, but because your old life is making one final attempt to keep you. Think about that. Your old life does not want to release you. It is familiar, it is comfortable, and even though it was slowly draining you, it knew how to keep you in place. April 19th is the day it makes its last move, and your only job on that day is to not react. I am going to say that again because it is that important. Your only job on April 19th is to not react. Do not send that message. Do not return that call. Do not engage with the argument that is begging you to step into the ring. Silence is your shield on that day. Stillness is your weapon. The trap only works if you give it your energy. And the moment you do, the door that opened on the 18th begins to close. Not slowly, immediately. That is the cost. That is what I meant when I said this 3-day window will cost you everything, if you ignore it. Because it is not just about missing a blessing. It is about watching that blessing get handed to someone who was never supposed to have it. You have seen that happen before, have you not? You have watched people who did less than you, who suffered less than you, who started after you, walk into rooms that were supposed to have your name on the door, and you could not understand why. Now you know. Somewhere along the way there was a test, just like this one. And instead of holding still, you reacted. Instead of protecting your peace, you gave your energy to something that did not deserve it. That is not going to happen this time. Not to you. Not after everything you have survived. Type, "Stay strong" in the comments right now. Say it to yourself. Say it out loud if you need to. Because April 19th is going to test your patience, your pride, and your peace all at once. And the ones who stay silent during that storm are the ones who step into April 20th completely changed. And what happens on April 20th is something I have been waiting to tell you since the beginning of this video. But you were not ready to hear it until now. Stay with me, because the next part is where everything comes together. April 20th. This is the day I have been building toward since the first word of this message. And now that you are here, now that you have stayed through the pain and the warning and the truth about what the 19th is going to try to do to you, I can finally tell you what is waiting on the other side. April 20th is not just another date on the calendar. It is a lock. A permanent, irreversible lock that seals your next chapter into place. Not temporarily, not for a season. Permanently. Everything that has been floating around you in pieces. The half-answered prayers, the almost moments, the things that felt so close, you could taste them but never hold them. On April 20th, those pieces come together. And once they lock in, no one can take them apart again. No person, no setback, no betrayal. What is sealed on this day is sealed for good. But here is the part you need to understand. April 20th does not just hand this to you automatically. It only activates for those who passed the test of the 19th. That is the key most people will never know about. The stillness you held on April 19th, the arguments you refused to enter, the message you did not send, the reaction you swallowed when everything inside you was screaming to explode. That was not just self-control. That was the final requirement. You proved something about yourself in that silence. You proved that you can be trusted with what is coming next. And April 20th responds to that proof. Do not move. State this part. Because what I am about to say next is the thing that most chosen ones wait their entire lives to hear. What was delayed is going to arrive. I am not talking about something small. I am not talking about a lucky break or a temporary win. I am talking about the thing. The one you stopped telling people about because they did not understand. The one you used to cry about in private because you wanted it so badly, and it never came. The one that made you question whether you were delusional for believing it was meant for you in the first place. That thing. It is arriving. And it is arriving because you did not quit during the season that was designed to make you quit. Here is something that almost no one understands about how restoration works. It does not just give you what you lost. It gives you what you lost, plus the time, the interest, the growth, the weight of every single day you spent waiting and wondering whether it was all for nothing. April 20th does not return things to you at the level they were taken. It returns them multiplied. The opportunity that was stolen from you 2 years ago is not coming back as the same opportunity. It is coming back bigger. The relationship that was ripped away from you is not coming back as the same connection. It is coming back deeper. The confidence that was beaten out of you by people who could not handle your light is not coming back as quiet self-esteem. It is coming back as an unshakable knowing that you were right about yourself all along. And you were right. I need you to hear that. You were right about yourself. Every time they looked at you like you were crazy for believing in something they could not see, you were right. Every time they made you feel small for wanting more, you were right. Every time you whispered to yourself in the dark that this could not be all there is, that something bigger was waiting. For you, you were right. April 20th is the proof. Type Amen in the comments right now. Not as a wish, not as a hope, as a claim. You are claiming April 20th as the day your life changed and never went back to what it was. Type it with your whole chest. Amen. Let that word be the signature on the next chapter of your life. But I need to warn you about something. Because even after April 20th locks your new chapter into place, there is a reason most people still do not make it. And what I am about to tell you next is the difference between those who receive their breakthrough and those who quietly watch it fade. Stay with me. This part is critical. Here is something that is going to bother you when you hear it. But I need to say it because it is the truth. Most people who clicked on this video are already gone. They left somewhere around the 3-minute mark. Some of them made it to 5. A few made it to 10. But right now, at this point in the message, the number of people still watching has dropped dramatically. And that is not a sad thing. That is a filter. Because what I am sharing in this video was never meant for the masses. It was meant for the few. And you are still here. That tells me everything I need to know about who you are. You are not like them. And I do not say that to flatter you. I say that because it is a fact you have been living with your entire life and no one has ever said it to your face. You have always felt different. Not better, not above anyone, just different. Like you are operating on a frequency that the people around you cannot tune into. You laugh when they laugh. You nod when they talk. But inside, there is a part of you that has always known you do not belong in the spaces you have been placed in. That is not loneliness. That is recognition. You were never meant to blend in with the crowd. And the crowd was never going to understand why, you could not just settle for what everyone else seemed satisfied with. Here is the truth. No one says out loud. The reason your life has felt so isolating is not because something is wrong with you. It is because you were built to carry something that requires separation. You cannot hold fire and stand in a crowd at the same time. The crowd would burn. So life pulled you away. It made you feel like an outsider. It made you sit alone. It made you question yourself 1,000 times over. Not to break you, but to prepare you to hold what is coming without letting it destroy everyone around you. Do not move past this part, because this is where the difference between you and everyone else becomes permanent. The people who scrolled away from this video are not bad people. They are not less than you, but they are not chosen for what you are chosen for. Their lives will continue on a path that makes sense to them. Yours will not. Yours will twist. Yours will burn. Yours will take roads that look like dead ends and turn them into doors that no one else can see. That has been the pattern your entire life, and it will continue to be the pattern after April 20th. The only difference is that after April 20th, you will finally stop apologizing for it. You will stop shrinking yourself to make other people comfortable. You will stop explaining your vision to people who do not have the eyes to see it. And that is why I need you to do something right now. Hit the like button. I am not asking you to do it for me. I am asking you to do it for yourself. Because that like button is not just a tap on a screen. It is a signal. It tells the algorithm that this message matters. And when the algorithm sees that, it pushes this video to the next chosen one who is sitting alone tonight, wondering if anyone sees them. Your like might be the reason they find this message. Your like might be the thing the T keeps them from giving up. So do it now. Hit it. That is your way of telling the system that you are awake and you are paying attention. Now I know you are committed. I know you are locked in. And because of that, I can share the next part with you. Because what I am about to tell you is something I only share with those who make it this far. It is the action plan. The 3 things you must do before April 18th arrives. And if you skip even one of them, the window will open, but you will not be ready to walk through it. Stay right here. This is the part that changes everything. Now that you know what is coming, now that you understand what April 18th opens, and what April 19th tests, and what April 20th seals, there is one final piece you need before the window arrives. Because knowing is not enough. You have known things before and still watched them pass you by. This time has to be different, and the only way it will be different is if you do 3 things before April 18th gets here. Not after, not during, before. These 3 acts are what prepare the ground so that when the door opens, you are not scrambling. You are standing there ready with both hands open. The first thing you must do is release. One person. You already know who it is. The moment I said that, a name flashed in your mind. You did not have to think about it. It was just there. Instant. That person has been taking up space in your head rent-free for far too long. Maybe they hurt you. Maybe they left without explaining why. Maybe they are still in your life, but every interaction with them drains something out of you that you cannot name. It does not matter what they did. What matters is that you are still holding on to them. And that grip is costing you more than you realize. Releasing them does not mean you forgive what happened. It does not mean you pretend it did not hurt. It means you stop letting their chapped bleed into yours. You close the book, you put it on the shelf, and you walk into April 18th with that hand finally free. The second thing you must do is silence one habit. There is something you do almost every day that is quietly stealing your energy. Maybe it is the hours you spend scrolling through other people's lives and comparing their highlight reel to your behind the scenes. Maybe it is the way you stay up too late feeding your mind with noise instead of rest. Maybe it is the habit of saying yes to people and things that do not deserve your time just because you are afraid of being alone. You know what it is. You have known for a while. And you have been telling yourself, you will deal with it eventually. Eventually is now. Between today and April 18th, you silence that. One habit. Not forever. Just long enough to prove to yourself that it does not own you. Here is something most people will never figure out on their own. The reason your breakthrough keeps stalling is not because it is not ready for you. It is because your hands are too full to hold it. You are gripping old people with one hand and feeding old habits with the other, and then you wonder why you cannot receive anything new. April 18th requires open hands. That is the price of entry. Not money, not perfection. Just open hands. Do not move past this part. Because the third thing is the hardest one, and it is the one that matters most. You must speak one truth you have been avoiding. There is something you have needed to say to someone, to yourself, maybe both. A boundary you have been too afraid to set. A feeling you have been too proud to admit. A conversation you keep rehearsing in your head, but never actually have. That unspoken truth is sitting in your throat like a stone, and it has been blocking everything above it. Your clarity, your confidence, your ability to see your own future without fear. The moment you speak it out loud, that stone moves, and everything behind it rushes forward like water breaking through a wall. Release one person. Silence one habit. Speak one truth. 3 acts. That is all that stands between you and the most important 3 days of your life. Type 1. AM ready in the comments if you commit to doing all 3 before the window opens. Not tomorrow. Not when it feels right. Before April 18th. That is your deadline. And you are not someone who misses deadlines. Not anymore. And now, I have one final thing to say to you. This last part is the most personal thing I have shared in this entire message, and it is only for you. Stay with me. We are almost there. I saved this part for last because you were not ready to hear it at the beginning. If I had said this in the first minute, you would not have believed me. But now, after everything you have just sat through, after every truth that landed in your chest and stayed there, you are ready. So let me speak directly to the version of you that no one else sees. The one behind the strength. The one behind the smile. The one who has been holding it together so long that you forgot you were even carrying anything. You are tired. Not the kind of tired that a vacation fixes. The kind of tired that comes from years of proving yourself to people who were never going to see your worth, no matter what you did. The kind of tired that comes from building something meaningful, while the people closest to you act like it does not exist. The kind of tired that makes you wonder, late at night, whether you made the whole thing up. Whether the vision you have been holding on to was just a fantasy you created to survive a reality that was too painful to accept. It was not a fantasy, and you did not make it up. Here is something that almost no one will ever tell you, and I need you to let it land in the deepest part of you right now. The fact that you are still here, still breathing, still searching, still watching this video at this late point when everyone else has already left, is not stubbornness. It is evidence. It is living proof that whatever was supposed to kill your hope did not finish the job, and it never will, because you are not the kind of person who dies quietly. You are the kind of person who gets knocked to the ground, stays there for a moment, lets the world think it is over, and then stands back up with something more dangerous in your eyes than before. That is who you are. And April 18 through 20 is when the rest of the world finally finds out. Do not move past this part, because I need you to hear this next sentence like it was written specifically for your life. You did not survive everything you survived just to lose. Now, say that to yourself. Right now. Out loud if you have to. You did not survive the betrayal just to lose now. You did not survive the loneliness just to lose now. You did not survive the nights where you could barely hold yourself together just to lose now. That is not how your story ends. It never was. The pain was never the ending. It was the price of admission to a life that most people are too afraid to even want. But you wanted it. And you kept wanting it, even when everything around you said stop. That kind of relentless belief does not go unrewarded. It cannot. The math does not work that way. Here is the truth no one says out loud. You were never broken. You were never forgotten. You were always exactly where you needed to be. And April 20th is the date that proves it. Not to anyone else. To you. You are the one who needed the proof. And it is coming. Now, I'm going to ask you to do two things. First, type 1212 in the comments. That number is a seal. It represents completion and new beginnings happening at the same time, which is exactly what is about to happen in your life. Type it and let it mark this moment. Second, hit that subscribe button. Not for me, for you. Because your next chapter needs a witness. And every time you come back to this channel, you are going to be reminded of who you are and what you are becoming. You need that reminder. We all do. And before you leave, I want you to carry this with you. There is someone right now scrolling through their phone, alone, hurting, wondering if anyone sees them. Share this video with that person. You already know who they are. They appeared in your mind the second I said it. Send it to them. Because the same way this message found you tonight, it was meant to find them too. And you might be the bridge that gets it there. This is not the end. This is the beginning. And I will see you in the next one. Before you go, Stay with this one last message carefully. This may be the most important thing spoken in this entire video. You walked into this video carrying something heavy. You might not have been able to name it when you clicked. Maybe it was doubt. Maybe it was exhaustion. Maybe it was that quiet fear that everything you have been holding on to was slipping through your fingers and no one around you even noticed. But you stayed. You did not scroll away. You did not let the noise win. And because you stayed, something shifted. Not outside of you, inside of you. You can feel it right now. That weight in your chest is a little lighter. That voice in your head that kept saying you are running out of time is a little quieter. And the version of you that has been hiding behind survival is starting to stand up straight again. Let me tell you what just happened over the last hour. You walked through pain and did not collapse. You heard the warning about April 19th, and instead of being afraid, you chose to be ready. You learned what April 18th opens and what April 20th seals. You committed to releasing a person, silencing a habit, and speaking a truth. And you did all of that while sitting in a room where nobody knows what you are going through. That is not weakness. That is the kind of quiet power that most people will spend their entire lives pretending to have while you are actually living it. Everything you just heard, you already knew it. Deep inside. You just needed a voice to remind you that it was always true. And here is the one thing I need you to carry with you after you leave this video. You did not survive the worst seasons of your life by accident. There is a reason you are still standing. There is a reason you still feel that pull towards something greater, even when nothing around you reflects it yet. That reason has a date now, April 18 through 20, and you are not walking into those 3 days as the person you were an hour ago. You are walking in as someone who has been warned, prepared, and chosen. That is not a small thing. That is everything. Now, if this message reached something inside you that has not been reached in a long time, I want you to do something for me. Hit that like button. Not out of obligation, but because you want the next chosen one who is sitting alone tonight to find this same message the way you did. Then subscribe, because what is coming on this channel after April 20th is built for the version of you that is about to be activated. You are going to want to be here for it. Type 1212 in the comments to claim what is yours. Let that number be the last thing you leave behind in this video, and the first thing you carry into the days ahead. I see you, I always have, and I will see you in the next one.